We don't really know what the fuck anybody said.
We weren't there. What happened to the Christians and the Jews will happen to you also, you Muslims. He predicted ISIS, by the way. I can give you his prophecy. There are contradictions in there that don't make sense to the original 10 Commandments. He said, towards the end of time, there'll be groups that claim to be from us. If you see them praying, you will say, these people are righteous. Say it for the record. Say it for the record, Danny Jones.
Best bits from Danny Jones podcast with Bek Lover. Enjoy.
There will be 72 versions of Christians, and only one of the versions is on the true path. This is what the Prophet Muhammad said. There'll be 72 versions of Judaism, only one goes on the true path. He said there'll be 73 versions.
Well, we don't know what anybody
of Islam.
said. We don't really know what the fuck anybody said.
We weren't there, but
we weren't there. Neither were the people who wrote the fucking Bible.
But he said we would be more divided than those religions themselves. The Islamic faith would divide, it would splinter and fraction off, and that there would be more versions than even the Christians and the Jews have. This is in his tradition.
Yeah.
And that's happened. He predicted ISIS, by the way. I can give you his prophecy. He said, soon there will be those that come out from us, meaning out from the Muslims. They will grow their hair long like women's hair. Go look at the pictures of fucking ISIS, bro. They'll have long hair. He said, soon they will raise black banners, and wherever they go, they will cause fitna, meaning they will cause destruction. And when you wipe out one group, another group will pop up in its place. These are his words. He says, and you will know who they are, for they will name themselves after cities and towns. Who was the leader of ISIS? Al-Baghdadi, right?
Oh, Al-Baghdadi, yeah.
This is his prophecy. He said, towards the end of time, there'll be groups that claim to be from us. If you see them praying, you will say, these people are righteous. But they're not. He says they're the wood of the fire. This was his prophecy. They will be the wood of the fire. And if you hear of them, don't join their ranks. Imagine now. This is the Prophet Muhammad's words, peace be upon him. He predicted ISIS and terrorism. He said there would be groups that claim to be from us. This is in our prophecy. There's no fucking... Like, you guys are all debating and stuff. The Muslims are like, this is the first time the Muslim scholars are like, it looks like we're probably, like, we're getting close to the end of time. Like, the Christians have been saying Jesus is coming. We believe he's coming too. But this is the first time, like, our scholars are like, it's not looking too good. Like, it might actually be the time soon. Like, look at the deserts of Arabia 67 years ago. It was this fucking sand there. And a bunch of camel riders, literally. Milking the camels and drinking the milk and eating dates. And hee-haw, motherfucker. That's what they were doing out there, okay? Today, the biggest skyscrapers in the world, where are they?
Dubai.
That's right. He said soon the time will come where the Bedouins of our people will compete with one another to build buildings that touch the sky. These are his exact fucking words. Not, oh, I'm guessing. He says one will build one, and then the other one will say, I can build one bigger than you.
What year was this again? 600?
This is in the 600s.
Yeah.
We're talking, this started 40 years ago over there. How did the Prophet Muhammad know if he wasn't from divine influence? I dare people to research the signs of the end of the world in Islam. I fucking dare you to. How did he know about this?
I mean, you think it's that much of a stretch to be able to predict that people would build skyscraper towers?
Yeah, but think about it. He said from their people, not anyone else. They were a fucking joke before he came. They were like a forgotten civilization.
Well, maybe he was just talking about people in general.
And he said the Bedouins, and he described how they're going to boast. And think about it. That's what they're doing. They're having a race between each other to build skyscrapers. I'm going to build it. Oh, yeah, Saudi Arabia. We're going to build one bigger than you. It's exactly what he said. He said soon the time will come where a man becomes a woman and a woman becomes a man. And they will dress like one another. The family unit will be destroyed and the bastards will take over. Bastard children. Children born out of wedlock, they will be so full of rage, they will destroy all those that are around them. That's the fucking country we're in right now. The bastard generation. You said that on my first time with you, but I was right about it. The bastard generation, 90% out of wedlock. These children are full of rage. They commit 90% of violent crime because they don't have a father. Because their mother didn't want them. They were conceived with no love. Therefore, they show no love to the world. They were conceived out of deadly sins, and that's why all we have from them is death and chaos. This is the bastard generation. He predicted that also.
All right, here's the article that I was alluding to with Bin Laden. CIA agent alleged to have met Bin Laden in July. French report claims terrorist leader stayed in Dubai hospital. 2 months before September 11th, Osama Bin Laden flew to Dubai for 10 days for treatment at an American hospital where he was visited by a local CIA agent, according to a French newspaper, Le Figaro. Fucking
and now
crazy.
he's probably in a ditch at the bottom of the Baltimore River.
This was posted by Anthony Sampson in The Guardian on Wednesday, October 31st, 2001.
Brother, there's just so much shady stuff going on, man. I'm trying to stop World War III from
Keep
breaking
going down?
out. Okay, maybe it already started. My whole point on this episode is why are we not given the same respect, and why is there double standards? You want to accuse the prophet about being a pedo. What about all the scandals in the church? What about all the scandals in the church?
This
brother?
Wahhabism is like a
Swept under the
bastardized
rug.
version of...
Swept under the rug. One of the largest denominations of Christianity, Catholicism, swept under the fucking rug in our time. So the
was
Christian
12.
scholars say if they all say that unanimously she was probably around the age of 12.
12, right.
When the father, based on Christianity, placed Christ into her womb, which is fine. That's past the age of puberty in 99% of the times, right? So she was of childbearing age at the age of 12. Would say if he's a pedo, then all of Europe, all of America should shut their mouths.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you why. Pull it up, maestro. Pull up marriageable age in the USA, my brother. And I want you to read this now.
Statute of Westminster in 1275, it was a misdemeanor to ravish a maiden within age, whether with or without her consent. The phrase within age was interpreted by jurist Sir Edward Coke to mean the age of marriage, which at the time was 12 years old.
Okay, 12 years old. Now we're going to go down deeper into this. So 1275 is almost 600 years after the prophet, and they consider this a normal age to have intercourse. But go down. It gets
To
even
ravage a maid?
Go down even more. Okay. Age of consent here in the U.S. Go down.
In Delaware, the age of consent was 10.
10 at 1871. Now stop. Pause there for a second. 1871, Danny.
71.
Okay. 1,300 years after the life of the prophet, peace be upon him. And they said, no, that's too old. No, 10 is too old. We got to lower that to 7. I don't know if that's because it's Joe Biden's home state. I don't know.
Almost 100 years after America became a thing.
Okay. But what I'm saying is, getting back to the original point, is if you believe that was a false flag and all that, and that they weren't really responsible for it, then why do you hate Muslims so much? That group of people. I'm not saying all that believe that.
Right.
I find it to be a contradiction. If you feel that they use that as an excuse, then why so much animosity? Because there's a lot of people that believe that we don't know the truth about that day. And yes, we're off a tangent here, but that's what happens when we're together.